y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Sisters in Crime with SistasinCrimewithShiandToy podcast. My name is Shamia. You know what? I messed everything up, but I don't care. My name is Shana, short for Shamia.
And I'm Toy, short for Latoya.
Y'all, welcome back to another episode, y'all. So welcome back. We have had some new followers, so welcome, y'all. So we are a true crime podcast. So if you love everything true crime, here is the place to be. Not only do we do true crime, we also do the Shine Toy After Show where we talk about life topics, we talk about celebrity news, gossip, little tea in the streets, and stuff like that. So we haven't been able to push out a video like that in a couple weeks. We've had some things going on, and we ain't really had our ear to the streets. You know, it's
I kind of have. It ain't been a whole lot going on that I'm really that interested in. Like, you got Young Thug trial going on. I really could care less.
I don't really know enough about that to,
yeah. We don't care to share that. So it hasn't been a whole lot of tea, to be completely honest. Like, I've been trying to keep myself, keep myself to the streets, but it ain't. Yeah, most of them been behaving.
Yeah, the tea just ain't 10, so we're not.
I mean, you had Nicki Minaj's debacle when she went. Where was she at? I don't know, somewhere overseas trying to do her tour and got arrested. Didn't too much care about that.
Yeah,
you got a couple things going on, but just nothing that really grabs my attention.
Yeah. Even when I'm on TikTok and social media, I can see stuff. I just keep scrolling because I just don't care. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in things that are being pushed on us. Like, everything is a PR stunt to me. So I don't really want to.
Yeah, it's not given. It's not given.
No, it's not. So for now, we'll just stick to the true crime because that always entertains us. That always energizes us. So, y'all, today we have a very interesting case coming out of Baltimore. I had not heard about this case until I ran across it on TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, we have to talk about this. So this case is about Jacqueline Smith. Like I said, it takes place in Baltimore. My sister's going to get started today, but do me a favor, y'all. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That helps us get out to other followers who might want to join our channel and join our little community. Also, don't forget to like and follow on our social medias, TikTok, of course, YouTube, and then also on Instagram. We share small clips on TikTok and Instagram here and there. So for the people who don't like to watch a whole video, there's your option to watch smaller clips. So my sister's gonna start off, y'all. So sis, take it off. Y'all, like we say every week, relax and unwind. Unwind legally though. Don't be, I mean, if you do, don't tell us about it.
And if you're a child, you really ain't got no business over here, no way.
Exit stage left.
This is 18 and up.
You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't do the full thing because my nails long.
Hey, I was about to say, what happened to
I couldn't do it because my nails is long. But you get the gist. I lost one though. But it's all right. But anyway, I'm going to let my sister take off.
Hey, y'all. So today we are going to discuss Jacqueline Smith. Her case is running deep in them TikTok streets here recently, so y'all may have seen it. We definitely were intrigued, but without further ado, so this takes place on December the 1st, 2018. At around 12:27 a.m., 911 receives a call from a man by the name of Keith Smith. He called in saying his wife had just been stabbed by a panhandler while she was giving the panhandler money. Also present was his daughter, Valeria, and she was a witness to the attack. So for those of you who are not looking at this live and you're listening, my sister is sharing a picture of this family. So in the middle is Jacqueline. To the right of Jacqueline is Valeria. I hope I'm saying that name right. I don't know. And to the left of Jacqueline is her husband, Keith. All right. So Keith explained to investigators that he was at a stop sign somewhere between Valley and Chase Street. This is taking place in Baltimore, Maryland again. And they noticed a woman that seemed to have a baby on the road. So Keith slowed down, and as he slowed down, Jacqueline proceeded to roll her window down, and she reached out to hand the woman some money. The woman then approaches the vehicle and asks if she could thank Jacqueline for the money. And then shortly after, the man in question started stabbing the panhandler, started stabbing Jacqueline, and then they ran off. This is what he told 911 when he called. So the on the phone with the operator, he is at the same time simultaneously trying to rush Jacqueline to the hospital, which was about a mile away from where this attack allegedly took place. So Keith, Jacqueline, and Valeria were headed home after celebrating Valeria's birthday. So, by all accounts, things appeared to be normal. They were seen dancing and seemed to be having a great time. Hell, if you look at this picture, they seem to be picture perfect happy family.
Yeah. I mean, and allegedly, I'm not sure, but allegedly, this is the photo from that night, actually.
That's crazy.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So, shortly after, police arrived to the hospital. Medical professionals, medical staff at the hospital do everything they can for Jacqueline. However, unfortunately, she ended up passing away. So just a little bit about Jacqueline. She was born on July the 4th, 1964. She's an Independence Day baby. And she was loved by many. She was originally from Rhode Island. And her family described her as being very intelligent, fun, and loving. And she was just that bubbly personality, that person that everybody wanted to be around. And she was also, my girl was well educated. Okay, she attended NCANT State University and later went on to become an electrical engineer. Now, side note, I'm wondering why I didn't go into engineering, because these ladies that I'm seeing out here in these social media streets that are engineers, baby, they clocking the coins.
But you know what? I'm gonna be honest, and this may be like totally ignorant of me, but the way they push that profession is like male dominated, like that there's not a lot of women in the industry, you know. But I was considering that. I was like,
I said, why did I? But originally, like back in my day, I hate that I'm at the age where I have to say back in my day. Back in my day, the early 2000s.
But here we are.
2024. That sounds so bad. Back in my day in the early 2000s, when I was in grade school, high school, whatever, they talked about engineering positions, but it was primarily a male-dominated field, as my sister stated. But now, so many women are engineers. Like, I know women around here that are engineers, baby. Listen.
Yes.
Clocking
so many options. Like I believe Jacqueline, she worked for the military. She was like an engineer within the military. I was like, whoa. Like, I was like,
you can do a lot with it. Just if you look in the jump career fields, you can do a lot. Sidebar, okay? She was very successful and she loved music and was a very generous woman. Obviously, if she stopped to give a panhandler some money, because I'm sorry, I ain't stopping. I'm a single female out here by myself. I gotta protect myself at all times.
Especially that late at night, I agree.
But I'm gonna send up a prayer for you. All right. So, Jacqueline was married before Keith, and at the time of her death, she had 2 adult sons. And she instilled these same values within her sons. Now, she was very proud of her sons. She was a wonderful mother, and they were following in their mother's footsteps to become educated and successful as well. Jacqueline and Keith were married in 2014, and they were very much active in the church. So at the time of this incident, they had been married for about 4 years. Now, of course, a situation like this is going to garner some media attention. So the local news interviews the stepdaughter, Valeria, shown here on the right, and they recall her being very emotional. She had not been home, hadn't changed clothes or anything since the attack occurred because she was so worried about her father and afraid that he was going to unalive himself. And she said that she also began to look at the world differently, okay? Again, this looks like a picture perfect happy family. Now we're going to Keith. Keith makes a statement, and his appearance was different from Valeria's. He was very much, he didn't show as much emotion. He was cool, calm, collected. But he cautioned people to be very careful when they wanted to give, because you never know the intentions of the person that you're giving to. He indicated in the interview as well that he didn't look at panhandlers. He said, be careful who you trust. People are not always as they seem. That's where I approach it from, to be completely honest. Like, I'm sorry. I do donate, though. Every now and then when I'm in the grocery store and they say you want to round up and you want to donate to such and such, every now and then I do it if I can. But sometimes between paychecks, I am the charity, okay? So,
My Lord.
okay. All right, so he said he was going to make sure and ensure that Jacqueline did not die in vain. And he wanted to work with the city to implement laws for panhandlers. Now, between time, of course, the police are cautioning the public to use caution when they are engaging with any panhandlers. And this caused fear of the homeless community that were in the area as well as nationally. So, soon after, of course, the case begins to hit national news. And it caught the attention of Oprah. Oprah name always in some stuff. Like, anyway.
Listen, she been low profile recently. Well, as of, I think after the Hawaii thing, that really ticked people off. So she's been kind of low key, plus she stepped back from Weight Watchers because, she admitted that she had been using medications to obtain her weight loss goal. So she stepped off the board for Weight Watchers. But, she's been keeping it pretty low. You said what?
Oprah been on Ozempic.
Yeah, or one of them. Was it Wagovi or
Ozempic? She been on Ozempic.
Yeah.
And was still doing all this stuff for Weight Watchers. She actually, I don't know if she's still in the hospital. She been in the hospital recently. I didn't know people go to the hospital for this, but she was in the hospital because, according to Gail, her best friend, she had it coming out of both ends. I said, well, regular people like me, just everyday people, that's a virus, baby. You just got to let it run its course.
Though, I've heard celebrities put out statements like that, but they really in the hospital getting a little nip and tuck that, But I mean, if she's sick, I wish her well. I hope she get well soon. But some celebrities, they get sick and then boom, they pop out, with something, a little improved.
I'm like, who goes to the hospital for viruses? Like,
that's a quick ginger ale and a good rest at home. Like,
when you wake up, it'll be gone.
Yeah, drink some liquids, nothing red. Get you some Jello, some broth,
Gatorade, ginger ale. Like, anyway, plenty of water. Okay. Anyway, that was a quick sidebar. So it catches the attention of Oprah. Woo. Okay. And she made a statement that the story struck her heart. I've done this 1,000 times, but will think twice before doing it again. Y'all believe Oprah done stopped on the street somewhere and gave a panhandle to somebody? This woman, all she do is lie, okay? Oprah do is lie. Okay, we gonna move on. But she said she gonna think twice before doing it again. So
I mean, that's just giving her ammo to do what she wanna do anyway, and not give nobody nothing.
Because you got on because you got on Charles and Nettles internet, and you sat up there and asked us to send Hawaii money when you the one got the money.
Yeah.
You and The Rock. Now, I love The Rock. But you and The Rock, like, in this economy?
The backlash came from them being billionaires, and they gave 10 million when they could have given way more, and then they were asking the public to donate. In today's society, when gas is high, groceries are astronomical, cars are astronomical, everything is astronomical in today's society, you're asking. And it was a little, in my opinion, a little, it wasn't, it was, you know.
Today alone, and this is not paying bills or nothing, this is me running errands or being out and about, I done spent about $175.
That's probably in between two places, honestly.
3.
Okay.
$175 between 3 places, and I'm still not done. I still have to run an errand when we're finished here. Like,
yeah. I was
at it.
I didn't even leave the house today, and I had to spend $200, and that was one spot. Had to buy a whole new battery for my car.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so don't talk to me about, not you, sis, but don't talk to me about donating no
money. I pray. If I can't get no funds, I'm gonna go to God. I'm gonna pray about it. So I
exactly.
Pray, but I ain't got it.
Exactly.
Okay. So, she said that she hopes that Jacqueline's death gets people woke to change. Apparently, and she was yelling. Real.
No, I'm just she might yelling for real. But I just picture Oprah yelling with everything she says. You know how she be yelling.
Real dramatic. I'm not an Oprah supporter. If y'all ain't picked up on that, I ain't gonna go too deep into that. But just do your research. All that lady do is lie. Okay.
Yeah. Do your research. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, we ain't gonna dive into that. Just look it up.
Right.
So during the investigation, law enforcement officials, they shared a description of the individuals. Again, like I stated, there was a male and a female. The female was black. She was described as a black woman in her 20s, medium build, about 5 foot, wearing a long a long brown coat, and with a baby, possibly. And the male was described as black, in his 30s, 5'10", average build, goatee with a black hoodie. Now that sound, I can walk outside right now and see
a guy like that
on the street that look like that.
Exactly. That's too vague. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So already.
I don't have my red flag, but what I do have is my hair wrap for my edges. So we're gonna use that for today.
Improvise. Okay.
You get the point though.
All the flags and the wraps is waving. Okay. Right, so detectives, of course, meet up with Keith and Valeria at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Immediately, they went to the location where the crime allegedly occurred, but they didn't see any evidence of an attack. So police left and returned the next day during daylight to follow up with residents in the area. Again, they weren't able to find much evidence. Neighbors and witnesses, there were none. No one found a murder weapon. And to the detectives, the area in which this occurred actually was not a high traffic area, and it was also not a well populated area. So, additionally, there typically were not panhandlers in this location. If y'all know panhandlers, typically they be in certain spots in certain areas, okay? Most of the homes on this block were vacant. So, now police ended up confiscating Keith and Jacqueline's car that they were driving the night of this attack, which was a 2012 Audi A7. I know that's right, Jacqueline, with the Audi.
And I seen a picture, and it was nice. Oh,
I thought that was her car. That wasn't Keith's car. That was her car.
Why it couldn't be Keith's car?
I know it wasn't Keith's car. We gonna get into that in a minute. I know it wasn't his car. So, police tried to gather fingerprints from the exterior passenger side, but they were only able to find a set of prints, and they were Keith's. One set of prints. No other prints was found. Okay. There also was a pair of gloves in the center console of the car and a pair of yellow gloves in the back seat, along with an acrylic fingernail that happened to be Valeria's. Girl, your nails.
I can't really talk about her right now.
Well, I can because I have transitioned to press-ons.
Okay.
So these two came off at the gym, and I popped them right the hell back on. You see? No tea, no shade. Real quick plug. For y'all, those of you, I know a lot of ladies I've seen transition into press-on nails. The glue, Beauty Secrets, is the best glue for that, and the best nails, the most sturdy ones, are gonna be by the brand Kiss. So don't forget that Kiss nails, Beauty Secrets nail glue. The Beauty Secrets nail glue is found at Sally's. I got these nails from the hair store.
They look good. I thought you got them done. They look good.
Oh no, boo! These is I did them. I did get them done. I sat down and did them myself.
Oh my God.
Y'all, my nail tech, which I think I mentioned on here before, she done moved and I can't get it. And I really don't want nobody else to do my nails. So this is what we're doing until I can get into travel to where she's at. Okay. So, there was no other, DNA fingerprints or anything. So you would think two panhandlers, if they came, stabbed her real quick, and jetted off, they would leave some type of trace. Wasn't nothing. All right. So police continue to try to corroborate the details that were shared by Keith and Valeria, and they were actually able to pinpoint the exact route that the car took that night. Now, the FBI ended up assisting with the case by extracting data from the Audi's computer. However, that was unsuccessful in trying to find the suspects in this case. So police were kind of having a rough time despite their efforts. Now, in addition to that, they ended up reaching out to the homeless outreach team, aka HOT, for help. They used all their resources they had, but they still were unable to find this man and woman and baby, okay? Police began to pull surveillance footage. Ugh. Police also, I don't know what's going on with my words. I've been talking all day. I had to train a class.
I'm not concerned about the words. It was the noise. Like, what?
I don't know. I've been talking all day. I had to train a class this morning. Okay. So, the police began to pull surveillance footage from around the city to track the Smiths' whereabouts that night, and I'm going to let Shy pick it up from here.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a little bit. I have some more pictures. We wanted you to see the family and who we're speaking about. We were trying to, make sure we try to incorporate some pictures in there to make sure y'all know who we're talking about every week. So that was, like my sister mentioned, that was a picture of Keith, Jacqueline in the middle, and then his daughter Valeria. So we continue on with the investigation. So they were actually, when the police pulled the surveillance footage, like my sister mentioned, they were able to track the Smiths and their whereabouts throughout that night. So cameras confirmed a few things. They did see the family, where they arrived at the American Legion building, and then they left around 11:45. The route followed near Valley Street near Valeria's home, which was the route that Keith and Valeria said that they took that night. But there was no sign of the vehicle on the street. Sorry, hold on. Sorry. There was no sign of the vehicle that night on any of the streets that they described. All right.
All right. Red wraps, red flags. wraps up, flags up.
All right. So then they checked the motion activated residential cameras in the area. And again, no footage of the vehicle. So at that point, they acquired cell phone data from Keith and Valeria's phone. See, that's what y'all got to be careful with. These cameras around the city and these cell phone records, y'all, these towers. So when they collected the data from the cell phones, Keith's cell phone showed no activity other than the activity of him calling 911, the call he placed to 911. But Valeria's phone actually showed much more detail. So it showed that the family had not gone south from leaving the American Legion building, but it actually turned north and ended up in a park in the area called Druid Hill Park, which was by the Maryland Zoo. And they were able to see with the records that they did spend about 15 minutes at this area. Now, if y'all think, what are y'all doing around 12 o'clock at night in a parked? What, like, what's there? Like, why are you there?
Minutes?
For 15 minutes.
I know why some people go to the park, but it wasn't giving that. This was a family.
Toya.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding. No. I'm no saint, trust me.
No.
So, along with Keith and Valeria's cell phone records, they actually obtained Jacqueline's phone records as well. And they actually saw that the last phone activity that came from her phone was around 4 p.m. And they also saw that her phone was actually still in the house. Now, previously, Keith had reported that the phone was stolen during the attack. He also said that her necklace, purse, and also, of course, like I said, the cell phone was stolen. So the police ended up checking like different pawn shops in the area just to see if anyone tried to turn in her phone for money. But they were able to determine that no one had tried to sell the items in the area. There was also an alert that that was flagged on one of her credit cards. Basically, someone had tried to use the credit card, was trying to use it. The police was able to track down the individual. So it happened to be 3 teenagers. They did detain them, and they determined that the belongings, the purse was Jacqueline's, and that they found this purse. It was a Michael Kors purse. They did find it at a bus stop on Caroline Street and Madison Avenue. But through the interrogation, they were able to determine, yes, they took the purse and they used the credit card, but they were not the individuals who committed this crime, this murder at this point, because it's murder. All right, so on to the further investigation. So the streets, Caroline and Madison Street, happened to be the route that Keith and Valeria took the night of the murder. That was confirmed by police and by the cell phone towers. So determined that the detectives my God, y'all, it's the wine. I promise. It's the
we on wine.
Give myself a red flag.
I'm on that lawn.
So detectives determined that was the route that they took, and they really didn't go the route they said earlier, which was on Valley Street or whatever it's called. But that wasn't the route. They took the route of Caroline and Madison, which is where they found all of the belongings. Now, it's been 3 months, y'all, and there is no solid evidence that any panhandlers had committed this crime, like no male or female in the area. They've contacted local homeless shelters and all this stuff. There is no evidence that this was panhandlers. But what was apparent and confusing was the inconsistencies of Keith's story and his statements, because earlier
clock it.
So earlier, and as we discussed this case, you might have heard my sister mention that he said that a male walked up and asked Jacqueline, could he thank her for giving his giving, I guess, the woman the money, like kind of like he was the boyfriend or the white husband, and then the gentleman was, he's not gentleman, but the male was the one who stabbed Jacqueline. But now Keith has kind of like changed his story and said, no, the female that was outside holding the baby was the one who stabbed Jacqueline. So you got all of these consistencies. Like he said, the cell phone was stolen. The cell phone was not stolen. It was in the house the entire time. And keep in mind, y'all, he was on TV saying all this stuff. Him and Valeria was on TV, and I'm gonna show y'all a clip in a little while. I'm gonna share my screen again, and I'm gonna show y'all why Valeria was, how I could tell Valeria, at least Valeria was lying. Okay, I have a little treat at the end. All right, so after all the interviews, after all the
Sorry, go ahead.
after all the interviews and the media coverage, Keith saying he's gonna fight for justice and, work with the city to, make laws and regulations for panhandlers and all of this stuff. People noticed as time passed, Keith got real quiet. Just real quiet. Someone who went, from being extremely vocal to all of a sudden just being real quiet was suspicious to me. And I'm pretty sure it's suspicious to everybody, especially since he was cautioning the public, like, be careful of panhandlers and
a real advocate, right?
a real advocate. He was giving advocate,
Wait that up.
Yeah, we about to get into it. So once, like I said, they had collected a lot of data from the the cameras around the city and also the cell phone records. So with all this evidence, the police approached Keith about the tracking data and like the discrepancies in their story. So he claimed that night that he got lost and he was ashamed to tell them they got lost. So he went along with that story, and that the fact that they got lost, they decided to stay in the park for a while, and they were actually going through photos from that evening because like we mentioned, they had like been to the American Legion for a gathering to celebrate Valeria's birthday and stuff. So that's what he said, the reasoning for them to be in that park was, park was so long. And he just said, that's why he didn't disclose it, because he was embarrassed. I don't know why you would be embarrassed with that, because I've lived in my city for years, but sometimes I get lost. I don't know where things are. But there's this thing called GPS.
This is very much had it in 2018.
Yeah, you very much so had it. Not only did you have it on your phone, you most definitely had it in your car too. So, yes, sir. So I'm really not buying that. So in the midst of all of this, detectives get a little tip that Keith is moving to Florida. So they're like, he's moving to Florida.
You doing what?
Yeah. And so after they, you said what?
I said, and they ain't found your wife's killer? You doing what?
Yeah, you moved to Florida. I thought you were advocating for the city. You can't advocate in Florida for Baltimore, but anyway. So after they questioned Keith, they actually questioned Valeria too and presented the same evidence to her. And immediately she shut down the interview and she said, I need a lawyer. And y'all know, if you're a true crime fanatic, when they say they need a lawyer, you got your person, basically.
Well, now, let me interject.
Okay.
I don't care if you committed a crime or you didn't. You always get you a lawyer.
That's true. Because listen,
the police would try to push plea deals and all kind of stuff on you.
Yeah, that's true.
I literally was just listening to something the other day with this 12-year-old. This was a long time ago. 12-year-old was a suspect in a young girl's murder. Of course, he was, and she was, and the police pressed him. He did not have his parent present. There was no attorney. He continuously denied that he had any involvement, and the police continued to press him until he caved. But he was 12 years old. But, of course, he was very tall for his age, so he's not viewed as a child in the eyes of law enforcement. So they really traumatized that baby. So I don't care if you did or you didn't. I always lawyer up, I feel.
That's true. Yeah. Now that is true. When you put it like that, that is true. Because there was also one case where there was a murder. Someone murdered a young woman early in the morning at a pizza shop or something like that, and the police grilled that guy who, it was like two guys, and they grilled them both to the point he confessed, and come to find out he was threatened so much till he felt like he had to agree with it, and he actually wasn't the killer, the other guy was. So this man spent so much time in jail because he was pressured to. And y'all, I know people might say, well, I would never agree to and admit to a crime that I didn't commit. And I was like, you don't know, everybody's not strong-minded and stuff like that. Like, there are some people who, they probably manipulated him and all kind of stuff.
Even about being strong-minded, you are
Yeah.
literally sitting there getting questioned and grilled for hours upon hours upon
Yeah.
hours upon
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, it probably gets to the point where you like, hell, maybe I did do it and I don't remember. If they so convinced that I did, like, it's not always that clear cut. It ain't black and white, y'all. But I don't care. The minute they tell you they bring you in for questioning, close your mouth, ask for a lawyer.
Yep. Exactly. I 100% agree. So, like I mentioned, y'all, Keith is moving to Florida. So they believe that Keith, of course, that the detectives were onto him, which triggered this move. Not only that, they noticed that Keith bought a new cell phone, he changed his number, and he changed the cell phone carrier. He did all three things because they think he believed that his phone was tapped. And yes, it was. It was tapped. They had been listening to the conversations, and I think he thought that this was a way to avoid his phone being tapped. But little did he know that didn't stop the show. They still tapped them phones. So they saw where detectives saw where Keith had actually purchased a plane ticket to Canada, and one to Canada and one to Cuba, but both were denied because he didn't have a passport. All right, so
Process.
so failure number one. He then they then saw where he was trying to escape to the U.S. Virgin Islands, because according to, I guess, his research, he saw that in the U.S. Virgin Islands, all he needed was a license to go over there. So they saw that he was searching this through his phone. He was also searching how to get across the Mexico border without actually crossing the border. Like, if there was a way, around it.
How the hell you get over there without crossing it?
I don't know what Keith was thinking, but we're going to get into the point that Keith ain't bright no way, okay?
There's no in Mexico without crossing the border.
There's no way.
You gonna cross it. I don't care if you going by air, by land, or by sea. You gonna cross it.
Right. So
what the hell?
I don't know what you was thinking, but yeah, that's how that cookie crumbles. You're not getting across that border without getting across.
Most notorious criminals be the dumbest. Like,
it's the small details they mess up at. All right, y'all. So it's March 1st, and they actually saw where Keith had rented a car in Texas, which caused detectives to act immediately, and issue a warrant for Keith and Valeria 2 days later. So Keith and Valeria were arrested by Texas police, in which was the same day the warrant was issued. So basically, the warrant was just saying, they were being arrested for, everything that had transpired. So now the detectives indicated in several press conferences that they followed every step trying to solve this crime, and it just seemed like all signs pointed to Valeria. I mean, they followed the whole thing through. Like, they looked into the panhandler situation, and like I said, they was like, there is no way that this was a panhandler, like, because they had searched through everything, and they'd even use some of the homeless centers to help them with this whole case, and they just came up with nothing. So unfortunately, through this whole debacle, finishing up this case, investigators learned that this was not the first time that Keith had a run-in with the law. So brace yourself, people. So this was not the first time Keith had tried to orchestrate the unaliving of his wife. Okay. So allegedly, he had asked his brother, whose name was Vic, his brother's friend, to help him kill Jackie. So Vic had disclosed, to the investigators that Jacqueline had told Keith that she wanted a divorce, and Keith was not having it. He was not going to allow her to just leave him. Basically, his energy was the only way you're getting out of this marriage is if you know.
It's given she was his primary means of support.
Exactly. That's what it seems like, and you gonna try to you about to figure out why. So he just preferred to unalive her for cash and to cash in on that insurance money. So detectives indicated that 2 days after the murder, because like I said, she was attacked, but when she passed away, this elevated to murder. So 2 days after her murder, Keith had showed up at Jacqueline's job trying to start the process of getting the insurance money. So police became very suspicious in the beginning because, like I said, between the inconsistencies of the stories and just different red flags, police decided to contact the insurance company and block the payout. So that also gave enough time for Jacqueline's sons to fight for her estate in probate court. So at this point, the detectives believed that Keith did not have any money and that he tried to escape using, credit cards. But they said he tried to get a cash advance on one of his credit cards, but they ended up getting that denied too. So it's given insufficient funds. So the news of Keith getting charged did not shock the families because basically they knew he wasn't no good. They did not believe his story from day one. They were just sitting back letting the police do their jobs, And I will say this city did an excellent job trying to solve this murder. They did not stop. They followed up on everything in regards to this murder. And listen, you don't always get this energy in every case. We've presented cases. You don't always get that same energy, but they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little background about Keith. We're gonna keep this quick. So, like I said, this wasn't the first run-in with the law that Keith has had. 20 years before this, Keith had been arrested for robbery not once, not twice, but 3 times. And it was at the same bank. I'm gonna let that simmer just a little bit. Robbed the bank 3 times, and it was the same bank.
Hey, Lord.
The same bank. But okay. So apparently, what happened was in 1999 he lost his job at FedEx because he lost some points on his license. So he also unfortunately found out he was HIV positive. So in an attempt to get money for his daughter and medications, he decided to rob a bank. So it says that he got a total when he robbed the first time he got like 15,000. The second time he got like 60, but the third time is when he got caught. So apparently, I think he was sentenced for 12 years, but he ended up serving the 6 out of the 12 years. During that time, the police did search his home, and he did have a bunch of money. I think they said he had like $20,000, like wrapped up in plastic or something like that.
And I'm just curious, because I'm just curious as to whether he was really HIV positive or just said that as an excuse. And if Jacqueline knew during the course of their marriage.
Yeah, that was a question I had as well. Like, did
Jacqueline's mama was like, Jacqueline was cautious, but she wasn't stupid. She was cautious, not stupid. So, like my sister said, the family suspected him from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, Jacqueline must have been telling them some things, and by her divorcing him, okay, it's for a reason. So I just wanted a backstory behind that. But go ahead, boo.
Yeah, me too. I wanted to know the same thing. So, y'all, we're getting into the charges. So, Valeria was charged with being an accessory to the murder. According to reports, she had some issues herself. She was diagnosed with bipolar, and that she did spend some time in a facility in like 2012. With that, they said allegedly she had developed an addiction to heroin. So Valeria was offered a plea deal because, many people thought that she was coerced by her father with the whole crime. She seemed to be very remorseful and apologetic through the whole trial and case. She also testified against her father. She did give an account for that night. She said, I mean, basically what the police had already presented and said what happened. Valeria said they drove to a park. Her father, unalive Jacqueline. He thought that Jacqueline was sleeping, and so did Valeria, but she was just resting her eyes. He unalived her.
I don't know if I believe Valeria.
You don't think so?
I don't know if I believe her in that she had no clue this was gonna happen type deal. Like, I'm just not sure.
No.
She just judging by her history and stuff, and like, okay, which this is not really saying this is why she's guilty. So please don't misunderstand why I'm saying she had a suicide attempt as well the year prior. She just was not stable. Heroin, cocaine. Like, when you're judging by my research, because I don't know anyone personally with this disease, this mental health disease. I don't know anyone who has gone through that. But from my research, like, when you're having those mood swings and you're in those different states and stuff like that, especially, and then if you introduce substance abuse into the picture, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying she's guilty just because she's an accessory, but I don't know. I was on the fence as to whether I believe that she, like, this was all on her daddy. I just don't know if I 100% believe that she didn't know absolutely nothing about it.
I'm gonna tell you, when I was researching, I didn't quite feel that either, because I could easily see her telling her dad, or see her dad telling her, like, look, this is a way out, like, do this for us, and stuff like that. Yeah, just right. Like,
because she fled with him. Like, if you was that remorseful and you really felt that, why would you flee with him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if he was like, because I don't know, it didn't mention anything about her mother, so I don't know if, like, he was the only parent she had. Like, I don't know any circumstances like that or what happened. But I'm with you, sis. I don't quite believe that she was completely in the dark about it, because, like you said, if you are in the dark about this whole situation, like, I feel like for myself, I would say, no, I don't got no parts in this. Like,
right,
would have turned him in immediately. But she did not. She went along with the plan. She was trying to escape with him and different stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, she testified against her father, gave her account for that night. Her role was she did get rid of the murder weapon, which was a knife, of course, and also the belongings. So she did admit that she, like earlier when we mentioned, like, Caroline Street, and I think it was Madison Avenue, I think that was the intersection. She actually dropped those belongings off, the purse, the necklace, and like all the credit cards, all of Jacqueline's belongings at the intersection. And she actually watched where those three teenagers confiscated those items and just went through it. She watched it all. So, along with Keith, so of course both of their trials started. Okay, Keith was convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. Valeria was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The whole time, I'm immature though. Not really, but the whole time I was thinking of this song, "Lock his ass up, lock his ass up." But, it really, when I was going through this case, it really ticked me off, because I feel like, I thought about how vulnerable Jacqueline was at that moment, and then how you use vulnerable people like homeless people to make up this lie that it just plays into the stereotype that homeless people are criminals, they're disgusting, they will hurt you, and you you push into this narrative, and whole time it's you.
Now, in addition to that, I just want to add, now remember, the crime occurred in 2018. They was arrested 2019. They weren't sentenced, I don't think, until like 2023, and that's probably because of things being kind of delayed for COVID. During the course of this trial, there ended up being 3 different jurors that had to be dismissed. So one of them was dismissed because they COVID-19.
Oh no.
Another one was dismissed because of news coverage. They had seen news coverage of the case, and the third one that was dismissed, there actually was not a reason as to why they were dismissed. So I don't know about that one, but and also Cliff had a degree in theology. So y'all remember in the beginning I told y'all they was avid, very frequent churchgoers. He had a degree in theology. He had history of being in the army, but he was dishonorably discharged. No surprise there.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, this week these pastors are 0 and like 4, because I saw where the pastor was like, he needed to get everybody to band together to get like $1 million. Was it to collect $1 million? I was like,
and
sir,
I said to myself, is it crack? Is that what you smoking?
Is it powder?
That man sat up there and said if everybody was able to donate $10,000, they could get to $1 million. I said, baby, some people ain't got $10, and you requesting $10,000 from each of your people in your I don't want to say audience. That's not what it's called.
Congregation.
You requesting $10,000? What kind of money you think folks got? I told my sister, I said, and there ain't nothing but he in debt. He got to pay some stuff off quick before he go into bankruptcy.
Or something. He said, I know I got some heavy hitters watching.
I was rolling, but at the same time, I was disgusted, y'all. But I'm going to tell you, since I brought up bankruptcy, I ain't telling y'all what to do. But I stumbled across something the other night, went down a little rabbit hole on TikTok, and it was saying how, because, the economy is rough on everybody, okay, we get it. People file bankruptcy all the time. Bankruptcy is not the end-all, be-all. They were saying basically file a Chapter 7. Make sure you have a stable place to live when you do. They said these people do it all the time. All it is a reset. From what they were saying, I'm not recommending it because I don't know nothing about it, but it was interesting, the people in the comments and all the videos. And I was like, well, pastor need to do that. Instead of asking your congregation for $1 million, baby, it's given. You got some bills to pay in ASAP, because that's how the hairstylists and nail stylists and stuff be. They'll charge you based off what they got going on in their life at the moment and what bills do.
I didn't think about that, but you're right.
They do. The ones that ain't got no set price list, and they be like, inbox me, boo.
Yeah.
They charge you based off of what's going on in their life at the present moment. So that's what I thought about when that pastor was up there asking his congregation for $10,000 a piece. I was like, sir, it gotta be crack.
It's gotta be.
God ain't laid that on your heart to do that.
No. Listen,
I ain't got it.
No.
And if I did, you wouldn't get it.
And then it's that man, I call him a man, I don't call him no pastor, who married that 18-year-old. He's like, what, in his 50s, 60s? And he married the 18-year-old.
Predator. Predator is giving predator.
That's exactly what it's giving. You sit up there and you talking about, I don't care what nobody say and all this kind of stuff. Like, she's 18.
Predator. God said, until you do right by me.
That was not God.
I know who it was, but
that was Seeley.
If you do right by me, everything you think about. Get together. Are we okay out here? Are you not well?
No, they're not. I was deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned. But yeah, y'all.
Not everybody in the congregation donate $10. Everybody give me $10,000.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you, like I said, some of these, like, I've met some pastors and I absolutely love them. But like I said, I've met some ones who are,
baby.
I don't know what a word I'm gonna use, but
got it. A 6-piece wing combo costs you $10 to $15. Don't even talk about 12. If you want to get anywhere between 12 to 20 wings, that's $20 to $25.
I've seen 30 some places, girl. But like
y'all gotta be so for real. And the same go for these, and we're gonna get out of here. The same go for these celebrities that's on tour. Who got $300 to $500 to be paying y'all?
On tour, yeah. It's some of y'all I want to come see that I won't be seeing because.
Now I might go see my boo. Chris Brown is in tour right now, the 11/11 tour. You know, I might go see my husband. I am going to see my husband. I'm happy to see my husband. I already got the shirt picked out.
The who?
The shirts.
The shirts.
Yeah, it's a Chris Brown shirt on TikTok. I already got it picked out.
Okay.
I need to get the New Balances to match it.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for you.
Wait,
just hope he don't cancel or get stuck up there in the sky like he did the other night.
They got him down. They got him on standby. That's all right. If they don't get him, I damn sure will.
That's good. Now, how y'all get Chris stuck up there like that?
And he was cussing him out. He was mad.
Oh, for real? No, I didn't see that part. I just see where he got stuck, and I said, "Oh, that's sad." And I kept scrolling.
Oh yeah, but that's the artist because he still was singing.
Yeah.
He didn't let this stop him. But yeah, I might go see him. I don't know. He'll be in Atlanta. When did I say it? July. He'll be in Atlanta in July.
Late July, I think you said, or something like that.
Yeah, I might go see my boo. We're gonna see y'all. But this took a side track that we weren't expecting, but we y'all stop murdering folks.
And you know what was so ironic for him to say, you know, be careful who you trust, because not everything or everyone is as they seem. And I was like, sir, you told the exact truth about yourself. Yep, about yourself. That's very ironic. But y'all, I promise y'all a treat. Let me tell you how I knew that Valeria was guilty. Hold on one second.
Prayers up to Jacqueline and her family. That's who those hearts are for.
Definitely. Most definitely. All right. So Exhibit A. What y'all see the problem?
I don't know if her lips ask you if she wearing Keisha K.O. lipstick.
That is Keisha K.O. lipstick without the glitter. This is how I knew she was guilty right here. Ma'am.
Please go on somewhere. Please go on.
What I did.
Please.
So we're going to leave this up, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Sisters in Crime with ShiandToy after show. Not after show. Maybe that's what I get for running my mouth, because this is not the after show. This is the it's the Sisters in Crime with ShiandToy, the True Crime Podcast. Y'all tune in next week. On Mondays, we upload our videos so that you know that at 1 on Mondays. We also, like I said, we might try to come up with something next week for the after show. I mean, we might. If something happens, we might.
She also need to pull her wig back just a little bit. But go ahead, we continue to close this out.
Like I said, now you told me I was wrong. But anyway. Y'all, our email is always in our description box. So please send us cases and topics you want us to discuss, just different things like that. And y'all, we're going to get out of here. Y'all, this is a picture. Of course, the overall gist of this episode, like every episode, is do not murder. But this is another thing you do not do. You pull that wig back.
It looked like it's giving dusty, and y'all was living off of Jacqueline. It's giving very dusty.
Yeah, because the way you sat up here on Blue Ivy's internet, and you sat up there and you slapped that chalk lipstick on your... But anyway, we're going to get out of here. I ain't got time to drag her today. But anyway, y'all, please, I said please. The Lord keeps striking me because I can't get right. I can't get right.
That's why we can't get them words out tonight.
I'm trying. But y'all, like I said, tune in next week for another episode. We love y'all. Stay blessed. Have a great weekend. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. You are loved and appreciated. So y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Sit back and relax. Y'all can be just as extra as people are on Mother's Day. You can do whatever you want. This is your weekend, and
Yeah.
y'all deserve to be celebrated. So happy Father's Day to everybody. Mwah, we love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.